Welcome to the Ignorance is Strength podcast. I'm your host, Fabian motherfucking Ojeda, and I don't know shit, but that's okay. All right, let's get this shit started. Thank you everybody for listening to the Ignorance is Strength podcast. Hope you all enjoyed episode number 55 with Victoria Cat. Definitely an interesting time anytime you get to talk to someone about MMA and Pornhub. So we'll definitely have her back at some point. I also want to, just throw the note in there. We did take a week off for Mother's Day. Definitely, learn from past mistakes. Don't want to compete with something like that. But we're back today with a brand new guest. He's the host of the Stuck in My Mind podcast, radio personality, Mr. Wilfredo Otero. How you doing, Wilfredo?
What's going on, Fabian? How you doing, man?
Good. So otherwise known as Wize El Jefe, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Where's that nickname come from, man?
It's just I've always felt I've been a boss, man. I'm not comfortable working for anyone. Mm-hmm. I prefer to have my own business, and I'm on my way to doing that, man. I started a production company, launching a radio station. I'm not meant to be an employee. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, and like a lot of us, me being a worker bee my whole life, we get stuck in that day to day, and it gets kind of monotonous. And sometimes you feel like that damn Queen song, like, oh, I want to break free, But we'll get,
listen, once you get that feeling, you need to break free, man. Once you get that feeling, it's nothing like it, man. It's when you get independence like that, where no one dictates your time. You don't have to punch in for a time clock, and that's the ultimate goal.
For sure. So you're joining us from New York today, right?
No, I'm actually from Brooklyn, New York, but now I reside in the beautiful Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania.
Okay, nice. So still East Coast over there. So, I always whenever I get
still on the East Coast.
There you go. Whenever I get a chance to talk to people from other states and whatnot, I just like to check in because we're pretty much, hopefully, I'm going to use that, word with a little caution there, but we're almost at the tail end here of this whole pandemic thing, right? How's it looking for you guys over there in Pennsylvania?
We go back to full capacity at the end of the month.
Nice.
But they're still talking about they're gonna still regulate the mask mandate.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. I'm fully vaccinated. I went and got vaccinated. So whatever the CDC said, they said we don't have to walk around with a mask unless they're required in the establishment that we go into. But
yeah,
it's cool.
Man, as it is, being locked up indoors all day and not being able to get much physical activity, you already start to breathe heavy as it is. Just throwing on a mask is that extra little.
Us big guys have a little bit more issues, man. Like us big guys kind of have a little bit more problems with having the mask. I'm 300 plus pounds, and it's not easy with a mask. And
no.
So yeah, us big guys do have a problem.
Yeah, and then I try to get my ass in the gym, and they make you wear the mask, and I'm like, all right, this is not happening.
Yeah, I haven't been to the gym. It makes no sense. I already suffer from sleep apnea and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I already have difficult sleeping, and so I sleep with a CPAP machine and everything. But yeah, going to the gym wearing a mask, that's just. I'd rather go walk around my community and I guess exercise that way.
For sure. All right, man. So I want to just jump in real quick. I've talked to a lot of podcasters before. We sometimes we tend to like if we don't have like a musical guest or like somebody like an actor or something like that, we tend to gravitate toward each other and interview each other. I've noticed that a lot in podcasts. Whenever you mention being a podcaster, people always kind of throw out the whole like Joe Rogan, and that thing has always kind of bothered me because I'm just like, maybe there's people that take it more seriously, but for me, I'm gonna just be 100% upfront. To me, it's a hobby that I started because of the pandemic. I just I needed something to do. I needed, I love putting together music and stuff like that, but there's nobody to play with. I love cooking, but there's only so much that you can do. But I wanted to just do something where I'm interacting with people, and the podcast seemed to be the perfect platform. How did you get started in the whole podcasting world?
Originally, I just wanted to do a sports podcast with a friend of mine. I had bought in 2019. I had bought me a little Behringer podcast studio for $160 on Amazon. But life happens. He had a newborn. Him and his wife had a newborn, and that takes precedent over everything. So
right,
we didn't get to do the podcast. Come March of 2020, I get furloughed from my job because of the pandemic. And I had already been fooling around with the studio, and I would do little recordings here and there, but I kept erasing them because I didn't like the way I sounded. My voice to me was horrible. And I just that was just me making excuses not to do the podcast. It's just me putting that doubt in my head not to do it. So one day, me and my nephew were just sitting down. He's on the phone with me. I'm just sitting in front of my laptop, and I have the studio all set up and everything. I go, you know what? Can I curse? Is it cool if I curse?
Oh yeah. I start every episode with the fuck and the shit, and I end it with one.
So I'm just sitting there like, fuck it. You know what, yo? Let's just record. And I'm holding. I didn't have the wires hooked up. I just had the phone in my hand up to the mic, and it's just me and him talking. A little 5-minute thing, and from there, he's like, yo, I don't want you to release that. I was like, why not? He says, I want us to be more polished. I was like, now I'm gonna release it. I want people to see where we started at, where the journey began. And from there, we went from 5 minutes. Then I recorded 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. Then it started getting longer, and then I started getting guests on. So now these conversations are going 15, 20 minutes, and it's just progressing. But when I had first originally started, it was just me really ranting about work and the pandemic, and it was the episodes was cool. They were all right, but it wasn't what I was feeling. I didn't really enjoy doing that. It wasn't until I started interviewing guests and bringing people on my show that I really started enjoying doing this. And then I found out that, hey, I'm pretty good at it. I really do like this. People like, oh man, you have a great voice. Definitely keep going. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then listeners are going up, my followers are going up, my downloads are going up. And I'm like, okay, I got something here. Let me just keep grinding and grinding. And one of the things is consistency. Like, the moment you stop, like your numbers will drop off. Like I took a week off. Well, I took a couple of weeks off in November, and it affected my numbers a little something. So I realized that I need to, even if I'm not going to record, I have enough material where I can schedule stuff in advance and really start really scheduling, really setting a schedule to when I wanted to release episodes. So it started with just 5 minutes, and I just found something that, like, I'm a big gamer.
Okay.
And I've just abandoned my PlayStation 4. I've for years been neglected over there in the living room. And my wife, when she saw that, she was like, yo, I know you're serious about this because you just don't play your PlayStation anymore. And I'm like, yeah, because I enjoy it. It's because I'm enjoying the conversations. I'm enjoying the people that I meet. There's so many different opportunities opening up for me. And it's just, it all started with just me podcasting, which was just like you said, it was just a hobby. But once I started really getting into it, I really started investing more into it. I got myself a pretty good mic. I purchased the Rodecaster Pro, which is
nice.
a podcaster's dream come true in the aspect that it does everything you want it to do. I have my intro. You're gonna see when we record my show how I got it. I have everything set up on my Rodecaster Pro, and it just makes it more simple for when I'm editing or whoever I'm having edited for me. So I'm just having a great time doing this, man. It started as a hobby, but I've made some money doing some sponsorships and doing some promos.
Okay.
I've gained some affiliates. I've gained like 2 or 3 affiliates here and there. So it's cool, man. If you really do work hard and really apply yourself, it is where you take it. It's what you can make of it.
So it's interesting. You mentioned it's fairly recent. Then I mean, you pretty much started, around the time that we were all locked up because of this pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So that's even.
I released my first episode. I released my first episode April 30th, 2020.
Wow. Yeah. So just coming up on a year. A little over a year.
Yeah, we surpassed the year. Yeah, we just surpassed the year, and I just released my 94th episode.
So you're doing like 2 a week?
Yeah, just about. Yeah. Well, at one time, there was one time where I dropped like 2, 3 a week because I was just grinding and recording. Like at the height, like towards the end of the summer and beginning of the fall and winter, I was recording probably like daily, like 1 or 2 shows.
Right.
And then so I've got so many that I have to really sit down and really start editing them and just start posting them and getting them out there.
Now, to me, it's a little more impressive because your setup's pretty nice, man. And I know we're gonna see a little more of that when I jump on your show. But I kind of because I bought all the stuff too, right? And then once I realized, like, damn, I'm not gonna have anybody in front of me. I'm like, I'm just gonna strip it down to what's needed for Zoom. I'm like, I'm gonna throw on a headset and maybe a little background, and that's it. I don't post the video; I just post the audio. But you've got your shit together there, man. I can see you got your decent mic. You got all the the graphics and everything going on in your background. What do you use for that? Is that the StreamYard?
That's OBS. That's OBS. Yes, it's free. You can download it for free.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes you
software.
Yeah, it makes you look that much more professional.
No, it's free software, especially if you want to go video, because I'm not video myself. I am strictly audio right now. But these are one of the affiliates that I work with. They show people how to use OBS, and it's a course that they have. And so once I took the course, being an affiliate, it was free. I took the course and I loved that. Or I found out all these little tricks so that when I'm a guest on other people's video, whatever, I can self-advertise it. It's right there.
Right.
Like I'm promoting all my shows right there, just in front of you, and my Patreon page. So it's little things like that I'm learning by all the people I'm meeting. Is like, he was actually the guy who showed me how to use this. He was actually a guest of mine. I had him on last year, and he's a marketing and strategy guy for branding and all that. And we just hit it off. And he's like, yo, I want you to be an affiliate. Take this course. Cut a promo for me. Post it on your podcast, and whoever subscribes from your podcast, you make this amount. I was like, all right, cool,
nice.
So it has its perks, man. Doing this here has its perks if you really work hard, and just really, if you're serious about it, like you said, if it's a hobby and you're having fun and you're doing it, yeah, keep doing it, man. Especially if you're putting out good positive content.
Yeah, for sure. I noticed on your graphics here, you know, we even had a mutual guest on. You know, I also had Nini on my
Oh,
podcast.
you had Nene on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I,
She played a couple of songs. Well, I played a couple of songs of hers,
mhm,
and she's a smart young lady, and it was cool to find out that me being Puerto Rican,
mhm.
finding out that in Africa they have a Spanish speaking
Yeah,
country.
I was like, what?
It was shocking to me. I was like, what?
Uh,
Huh? I didn't know this.
mhm.
It was news to me. It's not like I'm not like she was the first person I've met from her country. So
Right.
of course it was a surprise to me.
Yeah, I never even heard of Equatorial Guinea. I'm like,
Yeah,
if you say
yeah.
so, but
I couldn't tell you it. Yeah, I couldn't tell you the name of it. No,
you,
but no,
you know,
she's a
but
sweetheart. She's a
yeah,
sweetheart, and she's really gifted, man. She's really talented.
yeah, for sure. And you know, that got me wondering, you know, because when I started off the podcast, I'm like, I know I don't want to do it as a solo. I don't want to, you know, talk to myself for an hour. You know, to me, that's boring. That kind of eliminates the whole reason why I wanted to do this, you know. I love listening to conversations and kind of being a fly on the wall. And you know, I kind of figured that's a part of podcasting that people enjoy. You know, maybe they'd enjoy it if I did like an hour long rant. I don't know, but I wouldn't enjoy it, right? And so,
And that, yeah,
mhm.
and
And
that's
it's,
key.
yep.
You wouldn't enjoy it, and that was my issue was even with me just doing a 15 to 20-minute rant, I wasn't enjoying it.
Mm,
So it wasn't until I switched it to being able to have conversation
mhm.
with people that that's what it really transformed and really helped me really begin to really love doing this and really find my passion.
Right. Yeah, and I started small. You know, I think a lot of people do. You know, I started off with local, what I call the safe interviews. You know, I my first one was interesting enough. It was my cousin. You know, and he was on steroids, and I'm like, well, people want to hear about that. You know, I never really knew anything about steroids other than watching like a documentary here and there. You know, so you get like the perspective, the first person perspective from somebody who's willing to talk about it, and you know that got me thinking like this could be a thing. You know, you could talk about stuff that people don't have any idea about, or maybe they think they have an idea about it. You know, but you teach them in every episode. You know, that's why I really wanted to have somebody like you know, like my last guest who does like OnlyFans and Pornhub on, but I'm like, you know, people like they're intrigued by that, you know? It's not so much like, oh, let's get our jollies and talk about fucking, you know, sex, this and that. It's like, okay, whatever. You could jump on any platform and do that, but I wanted to learn about the business of it, like the why behind it, you know, questions that a regular person would have. Same thing with anybody who does anything interesting like music, you know, business, acting, whatever. You know, that's kind of like the premise of my podcast. You know, ignorance is strength. It's like, you know, if you don't know about it, learn about it. You know, that's my thing. You know, it's okay to be clueless at first. You know, I don't mind asking a stupid question. You know, let me find out what you're doing. You know, and so
There is no stupid question.
right, yeah,
There's no stupid question, especially if you don't know anything. If you don't know this, if you don't know it, ask it. Like there truly is no. I know we do say that that's a stupid question. Why did you ask? But there truly isn't a stupid question. Maybe that person really didn't know.
hmm yeah. And you know, from there, you know, I got comfortable. You know, I did probably a good like 10 episodes of people that I knew, you know. But I started branching out and trying to find new guests. Um, and you know, talking to people that you don't know, that really kind of starts to push the envelope and see, are you really good at this? You know, because of course I can have an hour long conversation with my brother, or my cousin, or you know, my friends from you know high school and whatnot. But can I take a random person I don't know anything about and really dig and dig and dig and make it interesting? You know, I mean there have probably been some duds in there, because as much as you try to get them to elaborate, they just don't, and that's fine. But most of the conversations I've had, I think have been really, really interesting. I haven't gotten bored much other than, give or take one or two interviews here and there,
Oh no, I've had a couple of interviews with that. Like I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm not gonna release this, or yeah, there's just some that just aren't. They just don't hit me. Like, nah, this. Then you get the ones that, oh, I need to release this as ASAP. Like, this is the episode that I need. I think people want to hear, or people gonna enjoy.
Right.
I have to move it up and let me release it. But again, yeah, there's always some that somehow you and that guest really didn't connect or didn't vibe, because it's about the connection and the vibe with me. Like if I connect with you and I feel your energy and we're kind of on the same wavelength, then we're gonna have a good show, because the conversation is gonna flow smoothly. It's gonna be seamless. It's like kind of like how we know each other. So, but then you again, like I said, you do get those where the vibe and the energy just isn't there.
Right. No, yeah. I mean, I think nowadays maybe I'll be a little more picky on it, but when I was first putting everything together, I'm just like, I'm putting anything out there. I don't care if it's a stinker or not. I'm like,
no, you have to. That's the only way you're gonna improve is constantly is doing it. So even if you suck, continue to do it, because you're not gonna suck forever.
Right.
You're gonna improve. You're definitely gonna improve as long as you. It's like riding a bike, man. It's like when you first learn how to ride a bike, you fall, you learn your balance. Same thing. Yeah. You're gonna make your mistakes. You're gonna make your errors. You're gonna forget to press record. You're gonna forget to do all this other shit, and that's okay. It's life, man. You're just gonna learn from that mistake. And with every episode, I feel I improve with every episode.
So, the name Stuck in My Mind podcast, where's that come from? Where's it originate?
Like I said, I was actually, it comes from me being stuck in my own mind. It was me knowing the things I needed to do in order for me to switch my mindset from being, I wouldn't say I was a negative person, but I wasn't really applying the stuff I've learned throughout the years. I wasn't setting my goals. I wasn't doing my affirmations. I wasn't speaking my existence into. I wasn't manifesting what I wanted out there. I wasn't really focusing on what I wanted, and I was just complacent. I was just happy being. And once I've realized that, no, I'm not happy just being, I want to continue to grow and develop. I just got out of my own head. I decided I wasn't going to let fear stop me from doing this. Wasn't going to let it stop me from setting excuses to why I'm not going to record or why I'm not doing this or why I'm procrastinating on that. So yeah, it comes from me being stuck in my own mind, being stuck in my own head, holding myself back.
Right, and this kind of helped you get out of that.
Yeah, this definitely helped me get out of that. This helped me step out of my comfort zone. You have to get uncomfortable.
Yep.
In order for you to succeed and for you to be where you want to be and where you want to go, you can't be complacent. You can't be happy where you're at, because that's not life. Life is a journey. Life is you learning and growing and developing and taking those lessons and applying them and just basically just changing the way your life is. Everybody wants to blame someone else for their failures or whatever, why their life is going wrong. You control your life. You set the boundaries and your goals and yeah, everybody has it rough, man.
Yeah.
I came out of one of the worst neighborhoods in East New York, Brooklyn. My dudes my age are either in jail, dead, or still in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
So of course there's certain things that there's certain paths I've chose that I don't regret because it helped me become the man that I am.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just life lessons. So I know a lot of the things that have happened to me personally were of my own doing.
Mm-hmm.
And when I realized that and started accepting that, things started changing, things started progressing, things started getting better because I stopped blaming others for everything that was wrong in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I started taking control and basically set it like I said, I started setting my goals, started putting what I wanted out there into the universe and speaking into existence, and slowly but surely things are falling into place.
See, that's cool that I hear that from, someone like you, because I hear stuff like that all the time from, white girls on Instagram with their fucking avocado toast and Starbucks. But like to hear it from, a normal guy, it's pretty cool, because that mindset, a lot of the time I think people just kind of, I don't know, I think they fake the funk with it. They're like, oh yeah, I'm going to make all these great things happen. But at the same time, their mindset still sucks. They're still out there blaming people for shit.
Yeah, you're not putting the work in. Like, you think that by you just putting it out there, it's just gonna happen. No, you still have to put in the work. I still have to put in the work. I still have to record. I still have to be a guest on other people's podcasts. I still have to have guests on my show.
Mm-hmm.
I still have to do the promos and all. That's it's the work, man. It's nothing is gonna be handed to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's my job to go out there and take it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. No one's gonna give me anything.
Right.
It's my job to go out there and take it and get it and just make sure that, like I said, I'm as long as I continue to grow and evolve, there's no limits to what I can do.
Kind of working off of that tangent there. Talk to me about Real Wize Productions. That's your production company?
Yeah, it was just like I said. I started podcasting, and like I said, me and my nephew would do his show. I would do my show,
mm-hmm.
and we just started learning everything we could. We started looking into editing, looking into video editing, marketing, and everything. And we're like, you know what? I think we should start a production company to kind of help other podcasters not go like skip some of the steps that we went through, because we did this on our own. Everything we researched, we did it ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like what platform to release it on, to what mics, to what programs, to what I needed to use to edit. We basically did our research ourselves. We did everything. We didn't. Once in a while, I would meet someone and they would, do this, do that, and that's great. They shared their knowledge, but for the most part, everything I've been learning is me wanting to learn. So I've invested in courses, invested in doing other things. So I was like, you know what? Let me just start a production company to help people who want to start a podcast but don't know where to start.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, the podcasting is very do-it-yourself, DIY. I put together. I'm sure you do a lot of DIY as well. I put together my own little graphics and everything. I'm not an expert in like Photoshop, but I've gotten pretty good at mocking up images and whatnot. I do my own audio editing. Even the song that the intro song to my podcast is a song that I wrote from years ago.
And that's what you're supposed to do, man. You're supposed to implement stuff like that. And with me, I've like I said, I've invested heavily in myself. I've purchased Canva Pro. I have a epidemic sound for music clearance in case I want to create intros and other stuff. Those are samples I can use and not be flagged for it because I have the license for that. Canva helped me sell my first logo. I created this on Canva.
Okay.
It was a friend of my cousin. He has a food truck, and I had made a logo for my cousin using Canva, and his friend was like, "Yo, hook me up," and my cousin's like, "Yo, I got somebody wants you to make a logo for him." I said, "All right, cool." So I took my Canva, made the logo, and I was like, $250. He was like, "All right, cool." I sent them a JPEG, PNG, a transparent one, a GIF, and it was and I was like, "Yeah, here you go," and whatever else he needed, and he was more than happy. He sent me this sticker. He sent me the sticker like, "Yo, here you go," and that was cool, man. And there's different things. Like I said, everybody thinks that they're gonna monetize their podcast instantly. No. I've found other ways to make money. I've created that logo. I've started a merch store. I sell t-shirts. I've had a couple of people buy t-shirts already. And it's just those little things like affiliate programs and stuff like that. So yeah, you might not be making money off your podcast, but I've found other ways to kind of make some money.
Nice. Yeah. And then if that's, your long term, then shit, man, every little bit counts. I wanted to really quickly talk about, some of the content that, you've put out there. What's been maybe some of your more memorable episodes, or like if you were to talk to somebody who's never listened before, what episode would you point to? Like, that's the one you gotta start with.
Oh man, I have quite a few that I enjoy a lot, man. Like one of my recent ones was with she calls us she's the Asian Oprah, and but she talks about 88% happiness. She's like, no one's ever gonna be 100% happy unless they're dead.
Right.
And so her thing is 88% because 8 is a lucky number, in Chinese, and so that conversation was great because it was just nothing but positivity, and just the fact that we were able to talk about how people can go out there and seek happiness. Because listen, every day you're not going to be happy every day. Really, right. You're not. That's life. But it's also you shouldn't be miserable every day. You have to just enjoy that. It just popped up, but yes, that was one of my best ones. But one of the ones that's more touching for me, it's one I did probably in October, November. It was me and a high school friend of mine. He's one of the hottest real estate agents in Brooklyn, New York right now. And I'm talking about one of the hottest, selling some multi-million houses, and he is the man. And I had him on the show, and we talked about manifestation, we talked about main goals, we talked about everything we're doing to find the success that we're finding. And we had another former classmate of ours listening, who heard the episode, and she sent me a message, and she was like, "Yo, listening to you guys talk about what y'all doing and everything you're doing to progress and improve inspired me to go out and start my own business." She said, "I've been on the fence wanting to start my own business, and listening to you guys talk about this really pushed me over that edge, and I'm going to start my business." And since November 1st, she started her own business, and she's been quite successful. She's doing things that she knew she could do. And when she told me that, it was humbling. It was like, wow, like I didn't know just the fact that someone I know personally reached out to me and told me, yo, this episode really helped me see things clearly. That's like, wow, that just motivates me and inspires me more.
Mm-hmm.
That if I can help more people like that, where if they hear one of my episodes and it helps them, then I did my job, man. I'm happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. That's pretty cool. You know, every now and then you get like those unexpected messages where it's like, I listen to every episode, and you're thinking like, really, like that's kind of crazy. Or you'll see, you know, things pop up like listeners, not just one time, but like regular listeners in other countries and shit like that. I'm like, how the hell is that possible? You know, I always see somebody from like Belgium listening. I'm like, I don't know anybody in Belgium, you know, but to see it every single week pop up, that's like, man, that's really cool. And you know, obviously you'll get like India and stuff like that. I think there's quite a few bots or whatever, but you know, they crave our stuff over there too, man. Like in like India and
no, listen,
like
they right now, India right now is a hot spot for podcasts. Like they're into podcasting. There's a lot of podcasters coming out of India as well. And so yeah, that's if you can get into that market, that's ridiculous. That's a billion people.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed it because like the first time I was on the was it a
because we you know what, because we're I'm not saying we, me and you, but
right.
In a whole, Americans don't think out of America. Understand? They don't think out of America. Whereas me, I want those other country numbers to blow up. Of course I want my numbers in the United States to go up, but I also want my other countries to blow up as well.
Yeah, and that was pretty.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool, you know. Like the first time I saw the India pop up, I was on the. It's because I put my podcast on the Ghana platform. It's like I guess like their Spotify, right?
Yeah.
GAANA. And it was like it instantly shot up. I'm like, what the hell? It was like thousands in a day. I'm like, that's pretty rare, man. Like you know, I'm used to like smaller numbers, not like not thousands in a day, you know.
And where was this at?
I put my podcast on the Ghana platform. Ghana, GAANA.
GAANA.
Ghana.
GAANA. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah, man. They've got a lot of podcasts. I noticed as I started following their page on Instagram and stuff, and they're pretty big on podcasts. Like you mentioned, they're just, you know, I don't know if they just, you know, crave like American entertainment or they want to see what's going on here, but you know, I've heard that from a few people is that they eat up American content, you know.
And, oh man, I definitely got to get on that platform.
Yeah.
Get my numbers out there.
Yeah, for sure. You know, but yeah, it's always cool to see things like that because I'm like, man, literally on every continent except Antarctica. I'm like, once we get those damn penguins with to get some decent Wi-Fi, we'll be good. You know.
Yeah.
But what, you know, as far as what's next, right? With your podcast, with your production company, what are some of the goals you have right now that, you know, are gonna take precedence in the foreseeable future?
Well, we did a soft launch of internet radio station that we have. And we launched it in January for New Year's, and we launched it for the month. And at the same time, we created an app for Android, and we released it that in January. And we also put an app in for Apple, which we was having issues with, which we finally got repaired, and we just released it this month. But my ultimate goal is to hopefully have the station up within the next couple of weeks. We're still filling out slots. We're filling out we're still filling out the program. Got some amazing content. We've we've partnered up with a bunch of great podcasts. Because like you can listen to music anywhere. You can find music on Spotify, YouTube, anywhere basically. So we just wanted to create a platform where people can basically put their content out there. Like if you're a musician or a comedian or whatever, and you want to put out your content out there, we're gonna start doing a comedy show where they can do it on the radio show and radio station and do a set, and we can have live bands come out and perform live. Different things. Is just we just wanted to give people an opportunity. Like if somebody wanted to be a radio personality and they wanted to start a show, well, we're willing to give people that opportunity. We want to give people that chance. And if you get discovered, hey, that's great. Like, but we just want to give people an opportunity to just put their stuff out there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Helping others while get growing your brand. That's an admirable thing, man. Bringing others up with you, right?
Yo, listen, it's why would I want to be at the top by myself? No, I want to bring as much people with me as possible. It's lonely at top. Why would you want to be lonely? It is, man. Those people who do it by themselves, they get lonely up there. I don't want to do it by myself. I want everybody that works with me, that rolls with me, to be successful. I'm gonna push them to the best of their abilities, and I would hope they push me to the best of my abilities.
And with that, I ask podcasters if I talk to them on here all the time, like, is this something that you see as a career? Is it gonna stay kind of like a project, like a hobby? What do you see for yourself? Is this something that you look to make kind of like a Joe Rogan type of thing, where you this is your main source of income here?
Well, yes and no. The podcast itself, I'm gonna continue to do it because I love doing it. I love meeting people. I love conversations. So the podcast itself, I'm gonna continue to do it. Now the production company is something, and the radio station is something different. That's what we're hoping we can build and develop and grow, because we feel that there's a need for what we're trying to do. Everybody, like I said, everybody wants to start a podcast, don't know how to do it. Well, if you come hire us, or we have packages where we can help you get started. Even that's with uploading on so many different major platforms, to the cover art, to the intro music, all of that. So it's just something that we felt that we can, because I've seen packages where people offer these things and they're like in the thousands of dollars, and I'm like, no, that's ridiculous. Why would you want to charge someone so much? Like,
yeah.
So we felt like, listen, we can do it for cheaper and keep the quality the same. So why not give people a chance? Not everyone has that type of money.
Yeah, I think also with some of those $1,000 type packages, man, you don't really get any support, and you're still kind of fending for yourself. You maybe get like I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing because I've read some of the reviews and stuff like that, and it just seems like you're taken advantage of, and to pay that much money for something, it might even just kind of discourage you. Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. Like I said, some of these packages, I'm like, nah, I don't even like. I'm willing to work with people. Like, if you have a certain budget, and I feel I can do it on that budget, then I'll do it. I'm not gonna undersell myself because I know my value. Right. But I'm not gonna. I don't want to. Like I said, I'm more about helping. I don't want to take. That's not what I'm about. So anyone out there who's interested, just definitely check us out, man. Just definitely we launched the website for the production company. Like I said, we have the website up for the radio station. We can cut it on whenever we want, like I said, but we just trying to get the programming straight. We're still looking for some shows to fill in some slots. So me and you got to talk still about that.
Yeah, man.
I would love to have your show. I would love to have your show a part of the network. I'm saying, because you got a good show. I'm saying, and you still up and coming. You still, and even though it's a hobby, you still put your all into it.
Right.
You can see that you're someone who puts an effort, who really want, even like you said, even though it's your hobby, you still do it. You still put an effort into it. You just don't record, and I can see that you really do care about doing this. You have a background in the back. You have headphones. You have Zoom. You're dedicated to this.
For sure.
So I know the quality of your content is pretty good.
Yeah, for sure, man. I try. I don't want to put just hot garbage out there, but you gotta have a
realize that, like, yeah, no, I appreciate the people that listen to me. So I want to put out the best content I can,
right?
Because they're giving me something that's very precious, which is their time. So by them giving me their time, I really want to give them the best content that I can.
Right. Well, I mean, we'll be in talks, man. But definitely a pleasure having you on. I always get a lot out of talking to people who are doing what I'm doing, and for you, man, you're doing it even a more elevated level, which I'm really like fascinated by. But even just some, like I said, the graphics and everything on your screen. But anything else you want to throw out there for my listeners, maybe where they can find you or anything like that?
Yeah, you can find my podcast, Stuck in My Mind, in all major platforms. I'm on Spotify, Apple, Google, you name it, I'm on it. You can find the radio station at www.realwiseradio.com. We have an Apple app and an Android app. So hopefully by June we should have a launch. What else? Real Wize Productions is www.realwiseproductions.com. You can reach us. You can hit us a message if you want us to talk about the packages that we have. And what else? We have a Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Real Wize Productions. And I think that's it, right? I don't think I have anything else.
Cool, man. Well, again, I appreciate it. Definitely we'll be, checking out your content for sure. And then we'll be talking in a bit, man. But for everybody listening at home, I appreciate it. Thank you. Fuck you and good night. Subscribe to the Ignorance is Strength podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Like, follow, and share on Facebook and Instagram at Ignorance is Strength Podcast, and on Twitter at The Ignorance Pod.